Hello, everyone. We are the Lost Caravan RPG. We do one shots, we do miniseries, we do long running campaigns. If it's TTRT, I'm going home. You guys, you have fun. I'm done.
Are you not home?
Fine, I guess we'll continue. TTRPGs. We pretty much do it all. Tonight, we are playing a game called Fabula Ultima, which makes file saving very interesting because all of my documents start with FU, which, yeah. Or when we shorten it, when we're talking about it in the mod chat, it's always FU. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's fun. But this is a TTJ RPG, which it's in the same vein as like Final Fantasy and Shining Force and Fire Emblem, like any of those games, then you are gonna love this because it is there's so much flavor packed in. It's great. I'm very excited. But before we jump into it, I do have just a few announcements. The first being we have two sponsors for tonight's stream. We have Hero Forge. There's the site that we use to make all of these wonderful tokens. Mainly, it's where you can go to make super customized miniature models, which you can get sent straight to your door. I believe the deal is still going on. Tessa will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you can use the code LootDrop to get $5 off any of your orders. And yeah, you can use our link there posted by Dido in chat to order cool stuff and support us in the process. And we heckin' love you for it. Our other sponsor, I go ahead and hit play here, is Epidemic Sound. It is the website that we use for all of our royalty-free sounds and sound effects. If any mix, match, and genres of music that you could ever want, I think this is like high fantasy, epic, mysterious. I don't. There's a whole bunch of tags that I use, but we use it for all of our streams. They have beautiful music. They're constantly adding new stuff. Highly recommend you go check it out. And if you do use our link, you get 30 days access free to the entirety of the site. At the end of the 30 days, if you decide you don't want it, you don't need it, you can cancel. It doesn't cost you a penny, but if you decide to keep your subscription, it does support us. And once again, we heckin' love you for it. Ah, coming up games. Games coming up, English. On the 7th, we have a game of Mouse Ritter, which I'm very excited for because we will be giving away a copy of the adventure that we're playing, which is very, very cool. On the 9th, we have a game of D&D 5th edition hosted by Dido. On the 10th, we have a game of Pathfinder 2nd edition hosted by James. And of course, on the 11th, we have Lancer, y'all. It's Lancer Day. We're headed to a masquerade ball in a game about giant robots and explosions. We're going to a masquerade ball full of assassins and politicians. Like, we're so excited. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. If you do like what we do and you want to join us to roll some dice or just hang out, you can join our Discord. Link is down below with that big old button that says Discord. It's where we post all things like casting calls, schedules, cat pictures, and where we generally just hang out and be giant nerds. Alright, I think that's more than enough out of me, and I can pass it on over to the lovely casting crew we have in front of us, give them a chance to tell you who they are, who they're playing, and how they ended up on this airship. Starting to my immediate right with Turk.
Hello, everybody. I am Turk, or Turk Extended on Twitch, Twitter, and whatever other media you want to consume rather than Twitter. I'll be there eventually. And tonight I'm playing Vercingetorix. Yes, I'll be saying that the entire time, and I'll be making everyone else say it in full. I've made them all spelled out phonetically, so if they fail, you are allowed to harangue them in chat. Vercingetorix is the royal aide and protector, as is befitting a member of his order and creed. He is, of course, on this airship not only in order to protect the air, because frankly, the prime, for this kingdom, going off and doing something dangerous, like leading expeditions to something that is more expected of a fourthborn than the prime. and is quite irresponsible. However, it could make an excellent teaching opportunity. Uh, so he's willing to let some of it slide.
Of course. Well, that brings us down to.
Hi all. I'm Kai. I am not on any social media of any stripe right now except Discord. Where you can find me under the heading Kidron Starwolf. And I will be playing FP1KE or Spike. And Spike is a automaton. They are a construct. And they, for reasons unknown, were built sometime, with the ability to, speak with animals and cast nature magic of a sort. And they don't know why. They awoke with no memory of their creator or why they were created, and they met the Prime, heir to the kingdom, and were basically brought in to the royal fold for equal parts curiosity and kindness, and so they have a real strong bond with the Prime, and they are on this adventure as a matter of loyalty and friendship, and also to see if there's an opportunity to figure out a little bit about their own past. So this should be a whole lot of fun figuring this out.
Yeah. Game in general is just gonna be a blast. So ready. Found a pen, by the way. That's what I was looking for. That brings us then over to Lonnie.
All right. I am Lonnie, or Looney_Shaz, again on all of the things. Twitter, Hive, got a Tumblr again after years of years long hiatus, but I'm doing it for keeping up with the TTRPG community. I am playing Alila Stormweather tonight, and she is on this journey because there was her mom is basically the naturopath, the healer for her village. She lives in a small village, and somehow along the way her mom just lost her spiritual connection that allowed her to do everything she did for the town, and Alila thinks that she can figure out how to help her mom. So she's gonna go to this wondrous land of unknown magics and see what she can do.
Absolutely. And then that brings us up to Kian.
Hello everyone, my name is Kian. You can find me on Twitter currently at uptight_Japan. I will be creating a new Tumblr because I still have my middle school. So I will be making a new one under Uptight Siobhan because I don't want anybody to see the old one that I have. So I'll be branching out on my social media as well. It's pretty cringy. But tonight I will be playing Sabine Aconite, who is the child of a politician and does not want to be a politician. Has much more passions being a scholar, and has been pretty sheltered by his mom. And so he sort of snuck onto this excursion without his mom knowing, because he wants to prove that he can do things his own way and isn't going to, just sort of die out in the world instead of being raised the way that his mom wants him to be raised. So we'll see what happens.
Alright, and of course, I am Andrew, your Games Master for the evening, and for most evenings around here, although you are going to see a bunch of friendly faces behind the GM seat in the coming weeks, because we got a bunch of great people around here, and they want to tell a bunch of great stories, and I am here to support it. But I suppose we should jump into just a little bit of scene setting. A little bit of backstory to get us started. Let me know if that music's too loud. But our story begins on a small airship sailing high above the forests that surround the city of Dunova. Piloting the airship, an old, grizzled veteran named Leon, who has grudgingly accepted to transport you and your party near a set of ancient ruins known as the crater of Megiddo. It was a once great city full of magic and invention and exploration, devastated by a magical cataclysm that no one knows exactly what it was caused by. The crater still hides many powerful and terrifying secrets. And troops from the neighboring empire of Alonia have been spotted in the region for weeks. But why are we there? Well, that is only a question that our fearless leader Blair Clarimond can answer. Their father, King Roland, decided not to take any actions against Alonia. But Blair has disobeyed orders, gathered all of you, and decided to investigate. Hopefully finding a solution to why your neighboring so-called allies are interested in your kingdom. Now, with that in mind, we will jump many, many feet up into the air as the wind soars past all of you, and I'll ask where each of you would be on this relatively small airship. At most, it could probably hold a dozen people. At this point, there's only 6 of you. So, if you'd like, we can go in the exact same order. Starting with,
Say it. Say my name.
I don't remember how to say it. Vercingetorix?
Vercingetorix.
That's what I said.
Sure.
He's a
Hey,
dinosaur.
why do I smell gas? Anyway, Vercingetorix would likely be inside or on one of the lower decks, either in a captain's quarters of such, or anywhere where there's a slight view, but he can do some reading. He knows the safest place on a ship is off deck, so, or rather below deck, not off deck. Off deck would be quite full.
Yeah. I'm sure if you are up in the captain's quarters of this relatively small vessel, you would be there with Blair, the prime heir of this kingdom. They stand just maybe a little over 5'5", about 5'6", depending on what they're wearing. Light blue, almost sky blue hair that runs down about to the shoulders. You typically try to, even in exploration missions like this, remain a beacon of nobility, wearing very fine purples and with brass clippings along their tunic. But they just have a map kind of rolled out on that long central table here in the quarters, pointing. Okay, so if we land here, that should give us some cover with the forest. And if anyone's watching, hopefully they'll get us out of the sky before they can see anything.
Taking to tactics already, I see.
Well, if I get all of us killed, the king's going to kill me, so...
And what a terrible thing to be killed twice.
Yeah, my father's not the most understanding, and I did kind of steal one of his airships.
Only the one. Certainly not such a terrible thing.
Yeah, so we'll get in, get out, nice and quiet, and you see that typical like nervous reaction and of just kind of like wringing their hands.
Vercingetorix is gonna stand now. He's kind of like a lithe figure, probably just a little bit clearing 6 foot. and he'll walk over. You've already taken a large enough risk coming here. If at any point you feel we should return, that is going to be entirely your call. There is no dishonor in acknowledging the situation has gone beyond your means.
Yeah, of course. Oh, just never done anything like this.
It's harrowing, isn't it?
A bit, yeah. I can...
It's good, though. Feel the weight of responsibility. Become accustomed to it. It will only increase from here.
You can see why people become adventurers.
To run away from their problems?
Well, so that forest down there, huh?
A fine evasion. We'll speak about other ways to transition, but indeed.
All right. Spike, where'd you be?
So Spike would be probably on the very near the very tip of the bow of the ship, just looking down on the forest that they typically protect as part of like the Ranger Corps of the kingdom, and just really admiring it from this angle, getting to see it from this height for, as far as they know, the first time. And kind of feeling both the thrill of a new experience with a familiar thing, and simultaneously the weight of duty of that thing that they love so much. Just and sort of watching the hawks and the eagles, do their little hunting tours, and just really feeling one with that moment.
You'd be up by the pilot of your vessel. Old, graying man, late 60s probably. Human. Still just almost covered head to toe in leathers, in protective gear. You can see the hilt of a large blade just occasionally jut out from under the cloak as the wind blows past. A fairly massive man, probably close to seven-ish feet tall, just has worked with his hands, worked guard duty, been a soldier his entire life. And he's just staring over, watching you. Don't fall overboard now.
I will be fine, but I am grateful to you for taking myself and the rest of the party not only to our destination, but to see such wondrous things on the way.
You ever tried to say no to Blair? That works about the first 50 times.
Blair is formidable.
Assuming that you all don't get your asses killed down there, I think they're gonna make a pretty fantastic ruler.
Well, part of my part on this mission is to make sure that everyone makes it back alive.
Delilah or Sabine, would either of you be up on deck as well? Both? Okay. Then we'll continue down the line with Delilah.
I was thinking that I would probably, Lila would probably be closer to the backside of the boat. Kind of still looking over the land and experiencing it for the first time after living in kind of a smaller village for a lot of her life. But wanting to still take in the area around her, but also at the same time knowingly looking back at what she's leaving behind, kind of that supposition of so.
Well, as you are standing back there hearing this conversation between Spike and Leon, you would feel like this bump under your foot and see like a metal grate just kind of trying to pop itself up, and a little hand occasionally just like forcing its way up. The ship's mechanic, a young individual named Edgar, just bright red hair, freckles, maybe weighs like 90 pounds soaking wet, just from underneath this grate. Hey, I'm kind of stuck.
Let me, and she kind of like awkwardly like shuffles so she's not standing on the grate anymore. Sorry, just, here, and she'll bend down and try to help lift the grate too, since she kind of just made it a hindrance earlier.
It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but you do pull your a young but very surprisingly talented mechanic aboard the deck, who's just covered in grease, just from almost head to toe, and is doing his best to like wipe it off with these rags that very quickly is just smearing it.
My travel cloak is kind of tattered because it's a little on the older side, and that's probably the nicest one I have. So I'll like go and kind of like rip off a little end of it and give it to him, and be like, "Oh, here's a new one for you. Might work a little better."
Thanks. Oh boy. Yeah. Turns out the little bit of practice I got to do by sneaking into the hangars didn't exactly teach me everything about keeping this running, but I'm learning as we're going, and that's what's important.
She'll give like a little like laugh and just be like, "Well, I wish you some fast learning for all of our sakes, but it seems like
Thanks.
I'm proud of you so far."
By the way, and he'll like heft up just kind of this curved, like it looks like a pipe, almost like an L pipe, and just hands it over to you. Would you just hang on to this?
From the ship? Is
Yep.
this a important piece?
I don't know. I don't know where it came from. And we'll absolutely turn and just start heading for the stairs.
At this point, Spike turns around, having overheard part of this conversation. Should
Familiar
we
to
be
you?
worried?
No, I'm sure it's fine. You hear Edgar's voice as he just disappears to the stairs below deck. Sabine, where would you be?
Sabine is wildly running back and forth from one side of the ship to the other, just absolutely fascinated. Has been on an airship before, but they have never been so without their mother, and have always had to maintain a certain level of decorum. And they're rushing so quickly that they're almost tripping over themselves. And then if you're watching, you'll see them kind of pause and sort of remember that they're supposed to like have some semblance of put togetherness. And then they see something in the forest and they are leaning exceptionally far over the edge of the airship, kind of wildly grabbing onto a rope behind them and leaning as far as they can to see everything.
Hey, Sabine, don't get back on the ship. No, those ropes aren't gonna help you if you go taking a tumble over the edge.
I'm so sorry. It's just I've never been able to look at the forest like this. It's just amazing. And Sabine is not able to focus on a conversation to save their lives right now and is going to turn around to Elila and just very loudly. You're familiar with the forest. Is it always this pretty from above? Is there anywhere that we should know about? Can you give me a guide? And is kind of like tugging Elila, not really paying attention to the L pipe that is in Elila's hand.
She's probably just like using it as a walking stick at this point just to keep up. Like, well, I don't know if I know much more about this area than you do. I'm fascinated in all of this too, but we can look at it together and see if we can find a guide around.
You can see Sabine kind of fold in a little bit on themselves. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but thank you. It's really kind of you to offer. Maybe I'm gonna mess it up, but Vercingetorix. Did I get it right? Yes. Maybe Vercingetorix might know something, and I haven't seen him in a while. Do you know where he is?
I mean, if he's not up here, I have to think that he's probably with Blair. Or is there like a formal way we should say her name? Just like that we would know. Like, would we call her call them like Prime?
Yeah, Prime works, Blair works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people would just call them Blair.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were on a first name basis. So
they're in line for the throne, but they're still young. They love exploring and apparently love stealing airships.
That doesn't have a proper mechanic.
Nope.
So, well, I mean, I'm hoping that after Blair is, maybe they're having a meeting, and after that we can see if we can, steal Versini away.
I'm really impressed that you're on a first name basis with all of these people.
When you grow up in a small village, I feel like it's weird to, I don't know, I've never gotten used to calling people a full proper name. You kind of just know everybody, so hopefully they don't mind.
I mean, that's understandable. I really don't want to interrupt a meeting with Vercingetorix and the Prime. And Prime, would this be is there a particle? I don't remember the term before it. D prime or prime?
Just
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't want to interrupt a meeting with that they might be having, but do you think that we're going to be landing anytime soon?
Well,
I'll kind of look at the pipe in my hand. I mean, like,
Not too soon.
Not too soon, I hope.
not to break up your party back there, but Leon will gesture towards the front of the airship, where you can see the tree line starting to split and the first signs of the crater becoming visible. It's a massive pit. It is roughly the size of a small kingdom. Not nearly as large as yours, but there were hundreds of thousands of lives that used to exist here, and then one day it didn't. Now, I know Blair wanted to sit down somewhere outside of the woods, so those of you above deck would see a glow starting to emanate from that crater. Very faint at first, and then starts to get brighter and brighter. This light purple turning into a dark, violent purple. Would any of you be up at the front of the ship to get a better look?
I feel like the second that's pointed out to us, Sabine, even if Sabine isn't already dragging Elila will grab his arm and like get equally as excited as he was and kind of just go to the front to see it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Spike's just gonna kind of keep an arm out, just like, not too far.
Yeah, yeah.
Why don't we make the very first rolls of the game?
Ooh.
No, I thought I made that cheat sheet, but I sure didn't. For anyone that doesn't know how to play Fabula Ultima, every roll is made with 2 dice. These are anywhere from a D6, I believe, all the way up to a D12. It combines 2 of your stats into 1 roll. Why don't we go with a... Let's go with Dexterity Insights. Or doing your best to keep your footing, to see through the fact that you're on a moving vessel in the sky, through the tree lines. And you're looking at a... What's it called in this game? The dice level? What the check is called? Difficulty level. The difficulty level of 10.
So we're looking to roll over or under, I've forgotten.
Equal to or higher.
Equal to or under.
See, I had already rolled before you said that, so I was just waiting for you to say a number that was higher than what I rolled. I got a 7, so I already failed the first check.
I got a 10, so whoever was my Secret Santa for the dice exchange, thank you kindly. These dice are already serving me well.
And I got an 11.
Beautiful. The 2 of you would just kind of staring through that bright light with the swaying of the ship, manage to make out the top of some circular building. It looks like a dome, massive even for the scale of this crater, and the little bit of the roof that you can see is starting to crack and flake off under this glowing light. And then that light would explode out into a beam, almost this blade cutting through the air that shoots up towards you, and in just a blink of an eye slices through part of your airship. It's at this moment that we will go into skill checks. As you immediately start losing altitude, Leon loudly cursing, trying to regain control of this airship from below deck. Blair, almost thrown off their feet, just looks around wide-eyed and starts making a mad dash for the stairs to head up. What would you all like to do? You have an option of making a skill check to try to fix things, to try to help in some fashion. Spike?
So, Spike would like to, if possible, because, I believe, Alila, you failed your check? Initially? Okay, so,
I did.
So I'm going to grab you. I'd like to try and grab you and like shove you down on the deck where like you're not at risk of tumbling off. So that I at least know that you're set. Sabine seems fine for now, but you've got me worried.
Okay. Help, I'm being attacked. As I just go to the floor.
You are being hugged by a very concerned construct.
So that would pretty much stop Alila from being able to help the ship in any fashion.
Can I just raise my arm with the L pipe and hope it does something? Offer it to whoever. Offer it to whoever may need it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was a very structurally important part.
Well, that's good.
Alila, is there something you'd like to do before getting tackled and pinned to the ground?
how much would I actually be able to see before? Like, would I be able to see the light kind of shoot up into the sky?
Absolutely. Not really being able to see the source of it, but see it shoot towards you.
Okay. I mean, she'll probably just have a mixture of like a panicked but also excited look on her face as she's getting like lovingly tackled. But I don't think she'd be able to really fit much else in if she's like stumbling around and stuff.
Okay. Anyone else?
Sabine is like holding on tightly to one of the rope fixtures and was originally looking at this dome as sort of a fascination of like immediately zeroing in on something that they've never seen before, but is also thinking back to their mother, and is so going to keep eyes on the dome and try to call out to Leon if something else is attacking, if anything else is headed our way, as the ship is assumedly going down. But Sabine
Yes.
is going to try and help.
Very much going down. What role do you feel would fit that?
I think I was gonna just turn a question back at you, but I think insight would make more sense.
Insight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So roll your insight die twice.
Oh. The first roll was a 7, but the second one was a 1, so an 8.
8. The fact that in trying to regain control of the ship, it's just listing left and then right, and then suddenly just whipping quickly, just this 90-degree turn. It is throwing everyone off their feet, back and forth, just getting battered against the walls. Whatever loose equipment is out is now projectiles on the deck of the airship. Unfortunately, as much as you may try, you're getting eyefuls of the deck of the ship and the railing, and then boxes that come barreling towards you, but little else than that.
Sabine is definitely holding on tight and also probably trying not to lose his lunch.
Anyone else?
Going down, can I also be yelling, Edgar?
Absolutely.
Just hopefully he's paying attention and you know, actively working on fixing things.
Yeah.
Just to clarify a little bit about what I'm doing, like, I wanted you down so gravity couldn't do any more work on you, but I'm not gonna, like, lay on top of you, like, keep you down. Get up and do stuff.
Well, I mean, everyone at this point seems like they're kind of losing their footing and going down, so I don't think right now I'm gonna be like, I don't think, he basically said in between, like, when, like, I stumbled and then you, like, kind of helped me down, so, I can't do anything that yet, but I probably can later, so don't worry.
just clarify.
Vinny?
Sorry,
So,
who?
Abe Basardi? I probably mispronounced that, but thank you for the follow.
Him. Thanks, Abe.
Well, I think Vercingetorix is going to like stand up more fully and grab grab Blair on their shoulder and like to steady both of themselves really quickly, and as it's kind of rattling outside now, and he's just going to kind of lead the way and shoulder open the door. What is happening out here?
You can see Leon at the helm just fighting, still loudly cursing. Smoke is now pouring from the side of your ship, and the rest of the crew is being tossed around like ragdolls.
Damn it, find something to tie yourself down to, Blair. See if you can find a lifeboat either.
Immediately is like scrambling for a rope and starts tying it off.
I'm gonna move over to the group that's scrambling. What happened? Someone speak!
Damn beam of something tried to shoot us out of the sky.
And you land it!
About to find out.
I need an answer, Captain, otherwise I'm looking for other escape options.
The ship has gone from kind of this wavering now to more of a nosedive. A controlled nosedive, but
If you put crash in front of it, then yes, we can land it.
like if one of you can get down and at least repair one of those damn stabilizers, it's gonna soften the blow.
Very well. And he's just going to, like, as we're in a dive, I guess, yeah, he's just going to jump and let the fall a little bit faster using the railing and pushing and tucking himself down to a way to slide on the way down. Someone help me with repairing a stabilizer.
Sabine is gonna run after as best he can and see if he can be of help.
All right. Well, I suppose we can do our very first group check.
Yee.
As you see Edgar, that's like got two hands, like a wrench in each hand, and is just desperately trying to rapid repair multiple parts of the engine, just looks over at you at the stabilizer that is a ball of flame at the moment. I didn't do that. That was like that when I got down here. I promise.
How do we fix it, Edgar?
Put out the fire, and if you see a nice long tube, try to patch that up. That's probably what's leaking.
Could I have possibly grabbed the L?
I mean, I'm assuming at this point I can get up and also, like, I'm assuming all of us are kind of able to get our footing enough to follow at this point. Yeah.
100%.
So, I'll be following and, like, being like, wait, was this important?
No, but it'll work if you can get it replaced. So, for a group check, we will nominate a leader, and you will make a roll. Everyone else will make the exact same roll, and if you roll a 10 or higher, you will add +1 to this check. So who would like to lead?
What are we rolling?
I would say insight and might.
It's my highest and lowest.
Yeah, me too.
Unless you have an argument for something else.
both.
Well, you had a D8 for both of those?
Yeah, I'm D8s down the line.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so Spike, the pipe is handed off to you. Everyone else starts running to put out the flames, starts, bending back the scrap metal that's been just burned through. Yeah, all of you can go ahead and roll.
But are we all rolling 2d8s or our
Yours,
own
you're the same. Your
insight?
stats for that roll.
No, wait. Did I get that right? It's insight and
Might.
might. Okay, cool. Yeah, 14.
14, so that's a +1.
Another 7. I'm great
Well,
at this.
Rolled a 5. That didn't go so well.
So that brings you up to a 6 with Vercingetorix. Sabine?
Sabine rolled a 12.
So that's 7 total. Do any of you have a bond with Spike?
But
So-
it didn't help with my actual roll, so I don't know.
And so if any of the supporting characters have a bond with the leader, you can add the strength of that bond to the leader's check. But
Will that
you can
break
only
the
add
bond then?
no.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah,
You
I
only
can.
add the highest. So if one of you had 3, one of you had a 1, we would only use the 3.
Okay. So I have 1 bond with Spike.
But that still will only bring us to an 8.
Quick, write more backstory.
As the ship starts to list, you manage to rip out that tube that's still leaking this odorless, tasteless gas that helps to keep the ship right and stable, and start replacing it with the long pipe that you were given. The fact that you just continuously get slammed back and forth, you can't get it quite in place before there's another explosion that goes off. Spike, since I would say that you were the closest to the explosion, you are weak. As this full on just slams into you, sends you just end over end across the lower deck of this ship. The rest of you are dazed, having to shield your eyes from the explosion, and then suddenly feeling the ship start to list and then plummet. So weak means that your might die size is reduced by 1, and dazed lowers your insight by 1.
So, 6. Okay.
It's a few.
So, do we try again, or am
Unfortunately,
I?
it is only a few more moments of tumbling around like loose luggage before there is a thunderous impact. Thankfully, it's not a nosedive, but it is hitting, bouncing, skidding, hitting again multiple times, like a flat rock
Leaf on the
across a
wind,
river.
folks. Leaf on the wind.
Seeing the lack of progress, I think Person Jetters is going to get to the deck and tie himself near to Blake.
Yeah.
Literally, like, rigging or railing or wherever you are, just...
Blake would already be like halfway down the stairs, just watching all of you, not getting
No.
tossed too badly, but yeah.
My prime? No. Just
Isn't it Blair?
Blair, what did I say?
Blair the air.
No, it was okay. The hard name was the one that said it as Blake first.
Blair.
No, my prime, and I'm literally just like running up. We're moving now.
The ship does, after skipping multiple times against the ground, causing all of you to just to feel that impact again and again, come to a grinding halt. A beacon of black smoke now just jetting out into the sky. Y'all hear Leon's voice from up above. You all right down there?
I think
She'll
so.
be
Nothing feels
looking around.
broken.
Yeah. She'll be like looking around to see if everyone else looks okay and call back and be like, I think so.
Edgar,
Blake, you okay?
Spike, you two good?
Nothing looks too damaged.
Just hear this very muffled ow from under a pile of wood and metal scrap just in the corner below deck. Edgar just starts like picking pieces off of him.
I
Go
go
over to
over and
help him.
help him for the second time, picking stuff off of him.
Thanks.
You okay?
Ooh. You know, I've taken off in airships before. Never successfully landed. Still haven't.
Probably would have been a good thing to know ahead of time, but well, we're close to our destination, I think.
Right.
So.
From above deck, Blair would start to get to their feet. A little shaky. Let's look at the very heavily damaged airship. Okay. I think my dad might actually kill me.
No. No, not yet.
Edgar, you, think we can get started on some repairs? Maybe enough to get us airborne? Just that continued muffled ow after being pulled out of the pile, and then just like an arm peeking out from around the corner of the stairs with just a thumbs up.
Ah, see? Your crew can yet again make the ship operational, and your life may continue.
Everyone okay? We What was that? Anyone catch what just shot us out of the sky?
There was a beam of light from a dome near the center of the crater.
Think
I
maybe.
don't know what it was, but maybe Vercingetorix might be a little more familiar with the lore behind it.
Yes, actually, if I could make a study roll, that would be,
Yeah.
as the kids say, pretty dope. Um, I'm still dazed.
Yes.
Gross. I have to roll D. Not that it matters, because that's 12 and I need a 13 for free questions for Flash of Insight. Fabula point to invoke a trait? No. No, it's fine. 12 on my study.
That lets you ask a question.
Yes.
Study.
Each attempt to gain information about someone or something. If I got Flash of Insight, I could just straight up ask you a question. You couldn't like obfuscate around, but
What
I
was
had
your
to roll
total?
13 plus 12.
12. Okay. The I mean, this city's been pretty off limits since the explosion happened, but this definitely seemed like Magitech,
Mm,
which was
okay.
the speciality here, and what a lot of people believe led to its downfall and what caused the.
Well, then it's exactly as I thought it was. Uh, if I had to guess, and I'm not, I believe someone has got the Magitech systems working once again. Some form of defensive weaponry or some ancient weapon brought to bear once more. It seems this intrusion into our land has bore fruit. We should be extremely careful proceeding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if they have access to a weapon like that, I think a settled approach would probably be best. Okay. I don't. Doesn't look like any of us are too badly hurt. Leon, Edgar, two of you mind staying here and get this ship back into order, and we'll be back as soon as we can. Uh, Leon, who's like you, has been just white knuckling the helm, has finally taken a step back, taking a breath. You heard him, kid. Get this hunk of junk back in the sky. He'll just kind of lumber his way on down the steps below deck. Get the music back up. As one by one, you hop off, staring at now from the exterior of the ship, being able to assess the damage more clearly, and it is full, just a clean cut through the center of a very sturdy vessel that cut through it like a hot knife through butter. Oh,
Edgar might have a little trouble repairing that.
well, if they can at least make it airtight and get the engine back up, we could limp our way home. Could probably tell what they were here for. Oh, it's terrifying.
It is
So-
distressing. But
What?
it is how we handle terror that defines it.
Yeah, right. That. What I was gonna say. Um, like, did you have something?
Uh, Spike makes a little warble noise, and um it uses this feral speech to call um a chipmunk who oddly seems unfazed by all of this over, um and makes some chittering and stuff, and basically asks um if there's like a cave system that runs towards the center of the crater that we could use to approach more or less undetected.
Not that I know of. As far as I know, anything like that would have collapsed when the crater happened. But hey, there's only 5 of us. I'm sure if there's any soldiers running around, we should be able to avoid them.
If you believe that's the best course of action, we will follow you.
Yes. um, yes. I order us forward.
I'm
Right?
just gonna
Lead,
lean
lead the
over
way.
to Elila and just say, "That doesn't sound really convincing, does it?"
I haven't heard a lot of things that sounded convincing since we met the crew of the ship, but they got us here, so
Hopefully they can get us out.
hopefully. And we'll kind of gesture to have them lead the way.
All right. Are there any preparations that you'd all like to take prior to embarking?
I don't suppose we have anything that could help clear weakened or dazed conditions? Some medical equipment on the ship?
Well, Fabula points would do that, right? I don't know if you want to use them that early, but isn't that one of the things you could spend them for?
I can. But I'm trying to get them for free first.
So, at character creation, everyone does start with 3 Fabula points. These are basically a version of hero points. Whenever a character rolls a fumble, they immediately recover 1 point. If a villain were to enter a scene, every player character recovers a point. And if a player character were to hit 0 points, 0 hit points, and surrender, they recover 2 Fabula points.
In that case, I think I will spend a Fabula point. Before we left, I recovered the medical stores that we have, just first aid supplies, things that would be useful for quickly dosing minor cuts and bruises. And I have that in my pack.
You're spending 1 point to alter the story.
Yes.
Absolutely. Anyone else?
So, just a quick clarification: how long would these conditions last otherwise?
Till you rest.
Until we rest.
Mm.
Okay.
I'll be getting some smelling salts and handing them out as we move.
Okay. Another question: would those things work on me?
For Spike's case, I think there's a few extra parts that I have some familiarity with, not being completely familiar with their construction, of course, but, recognizing some materia that could be used to bind metal without needing full repairs. Like
That's
glue.
useful. Thank you.
Yes, we aim to be. Now, if you're all capable of moving, suggest we do so and keep good pace.
Yeah, that.
We
All
should
right.
move quickly beyond the crash site. They will have guard patrols here if they intended for us to truly never return.
Yeah. Ah. Hopefully they don't stumble on Leon or Edgar.
I trust a small enough ship should be able to remain relatively unknown for a decent time. If not,
Okay.
their first instinct will likely be to bring the ship back to where we are heading anyway, where we can recover it.
All right.
Leon can probably protect Edgar a little bit.
Yeah. You're right. That's we got nothing to worry about. We'll pop in, we'll pop out to see what's happening. At the very least, if we can tell the king why they're here, that'll give us some credit to what I've been saying. And
Is
yeah,
there anything?
no, go ahead.
Is there anything in the forest that is standing out as not forest?
Not really. There's not much man-made left here outside of the.
And is the crater still like a light, or has it already?
It has faded.
Okay.
But we press on into the thin strip of woods that separates you and the massive crater. Would you say that Blair is in the lead, or would one of you like to be?
Well, I was just going to ask Vicingetorus if he would want point or would he want to take up the rear, whichever one he chooses, I'll choose the other.
I think Vercingetorus would rather be closer to Blair.
So up front.
Yeah.
Call me if there's a need.
Remain close. So there isn't.
So, being in the lead, Vercingetorus, you walking alongside Blair, the the future ruler of your kingdom and future monarch to all of you, you can you could all very clearly see that they are shaking, trying to be as strong as possible, marching, trying to, head held high, but very clearly shaking.
If I might, my prime,
Of course, yeah.
your emotions will always be your own, but that means you have the ability to shape them. Do not be afraid to express them, but they are tools, things to be crafted within your own mind. And
You should write a book or something. It's some words of wisdom.
I have some treaties I have been penciling in my free time, what little I have. Looking
Yeah,
after errant primes who go on dangerous missions, although they are quite capable, I am certain.
it'll be fine. Just need get in, get out, and get home.
It will be fine. We are with you, my prime. No harm will come to you or us so long as we act together and in cohesion. You will be the holder of that cohesion.
As you are saying this, pushing through some brush, you would see a figure just kind of roll out near the path in front of you. About a 3 foot tall creature, almost purely translucent, this very light blue, just little jolts of static electricity just rolling off of it as it passes. A vague semblance of a face just kind of turns to look over at all of you. It's a slime. Some call them jellies. But it is just this ball of goo given sentience and is now just staring very curiously at all of you.
Lila kind of waves, like not able to tell if it's friendly or not because its face
That's
probably
fine.
isn't giving much away. So it's still sentient, well, sentient or moving at least. So
Mhm.
she'll.
Yeah. Is there a check you would like to make, or would you just like to wave?
Um, would my wave be like a more, like a more like friendly wave versus like a like I don't know. I can do insight, and I don't know what else would really go for willpower, just to kind of not
Yeah.
automatically
Yeah.
be nervous that there's something I don't recognize in front of me.
Insight willpower works great.
All right. I am gonna stop rolling these dice. I rolled a 6.
I make a study as well.
Yeah. You can also spend a Fabula point to invoke one of your traits if you feel like you have a trait that would help you, and straight re-roll.
30, 10. I'm real smart. That is a 12 for me.
Lila, do you feel like you have a trait that would help you here?
I don't actually know. Oh, I mean, I'm from so a trait could be like my origin.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like
Identity,
I'm from a
theme, or origin.
okay. I'm from a small village, so I feel like I'm kind of that like person that wants to feel like they know everybody. So maybe I'd be able to invoke my origin of being just like a friendly face amongst faces kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah. That's how that works. So mark
And I'm
off one of
rolling
your
different
points,
dice this time.
and you can re-roll either one or both of your dice.
I'm re-rolling both because I don't remember what the other one was, first of all, because I put them back because I knew I was switching. Um, it's an 8. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's much better.
That's it kind of does start to, wiggle as if maybe waving back, but that static does start to build. Vercingetorix, do you got a 12? Are you
Yes.
wanting to know what this is exactly?
Yes, I'm gonna hold up my Pokédex of a brain and
This is a static ooze. It is a creature typically of creation by some Magitech design, some Magitech wizards. They're just hungry little guys. Unless bothered, they're typically not one to go out and seek violence. It's just a hungry little buddy.
I am also a hungry little buddy, so I respect that.
yeah.
So I feel like this is something that since I joined the Royal Ranger Corps, I meet on a fairly regular basis. Um, and so I reach into my pack and I pull out like a little bit of uh the rations that I keep on hand for, just feeding things that are, maybe not threatening as such, but get in the way. That I would just like to be elsewhere. And I just kind of throw it a piece.
Okay. Uh, Anyone else? Before I move on to the results of your actions.
Sabine is hiding probably behind Vercingetorix.
Ducked away. Alright. Of course, Blair immediately just has this, pocket-sized dagger out and at the ready, but this thing does start to roll over to the food, just more rolls on top of it to pick it up than actually, leaning down to bite it or anything. That little static charge continues to build and build, and then just washes over you. It's probably gonna make your hair stand on end for a few moments. Tickles a little, but otherwise harmless. It'll eventually start to kind of roll off to the side with seemingly an intent of just moving out of your way.
A harmless thing. Let it pass.
I'm fine.
Don't die.
Fine. Ooh, Blair just... Yeah. I wonder why there's oozes so close to the kingdom. They shouldn't be.
Likely a result of the work here in the crater.
Yes. They'd start moving on, still kind of keeping, an eye on the ooze. That's now just a big old, just wiggly smile as it watches you all start walking away, and then just Kirby rolls itself back into the woods. At this point, you'd break through that thin layer of trees separating your crashed airship and the edge of the crater. What used to be a beautiful city, now most of it lies vertical rather than horizontal. My brain had to... It's like the ground simply just collapsed downwards, and now cities that used to, or buildings that used to stand tall, now lay tilted, all pointed down towards the deep center of this crater. So to navigate your way down, you are passing through ruin after ruin. All of these buildings reflecting the lives that used to exist here. That being said, Blair would, all of you. Okay. Looks like we got a straight shot. I haven't seen any enemy soldiers yet. Anyone got any better ideas than simply marching on down there?
Nothing that wouldn't take sufficient time and political effort.
Then nothing we have.
Precisely. By your leave, my prime.
Okay. And very carefully, they would start climbing down the sides of the ruined buildings, sliding along the old stonework. And for maybe a brief moment, you can see the glimpse of the inner child of the Prime that's probably never really got to be a child, and probably enjoying this a lot more than they should be. The Beardo, I think I have 4 Ultima points now. Y'all are... I don't know what the 4 of you did to the chat to make them treat you like this, but that's none of my business.
New y'all? Come on.
Before we jump to a break, the camera would pan out from our heroes, quickly shoot its way down the ruins to this dome, where you would see 2 figures. One, a hulking set of Magitech armor, standing guard in front of the other. A much smaller and thinner figure. Both of them standing near this bronze pillar decorated with these sigils. The pillar is cracked and bent, but for the most part intact. The woman's voice, barely above a whisper. They were right. The Elonians were right. It's left it buried here for who knows how long. Don't worry, brother. I'm gonna get you back. And with that, we're gonna jump to a quick break, give everyone a chance to grab a drink, stretch your legs, do what you gotta do, and we'll come back with the second half of our journey here in Fabula Ultima. See you soon, everybody. And welcome back. Where we left off, we'd gotten a glimpse into whatever villainous acts might be pulling the strings here. But we do return to our party, as they are slowly and carefully making their way down, further down. Every once in a while you all hear whisper. The remnants of the former inhabitants of this once glorious city. Occasionally seeing a ghostly specter for just a moment of whoever that may have been in their final moments. They never interact with you or seem aggressive or even realize that you're there. But still, you get little reflections here and there. After probably close to an hour of traversing building after building, sliding your way down this massive crater, you get a much better look at the domed structure that you had partially seen from the sky. It is a pearly, marbly white, massive, just positioned there at the center of this crater. Those cracks that you had started to see from up above down here look almost threatening to the structure, as if it were possibly ready to collapse at just the slightest of breezes. And yet it stands strong. Whatever buildings may have surrounded it have been leveled. It's nothing but rubble in any direction. And as you've been traveling, you're noticing something that certain Vercingetorus would probably pick up on. The rest of you, if you're on the studied side, you might get glimpses here and there. But you'd see signs of Elonian Magitech soldiers. Elonia being the nation next to yours. Sometimes allies, sometimes rivals. These are the soldiers that had been rumored to have been spotted in the area. But these, of course, are lifeless, magicless constructs. It looks like whatever powered that beam evaporated whatever energy source these constructs were working off of. You'd all, just barely on the edge of the wind, catch a very small voice and a scream, and see a young woman with a pack about as tall, if not taller than she is, just towering over top of her, just scrambling her way through the ruins, letting out these screams of, I'm just a merchant, I swear, Please don't hurt me. And then just continues to just scramble and sprint. Not too far behind her, this floating hexagonal-like creature just slowly trails along, picking up pace and starting to close the distance up to her. What would you like to do?
My prime, what is your call?
Any anyone recognize her? I don't think she's one of ours. Right?
She's not one that I would know.
Not one of ours, but should we help?
She has information, most likely, my prime.
Yeah, yes. We're coming. Just hold on. And Blair will start more rapidly descending down the little that's left of the ruins between all of you and this merchant girl. Pulling themselves along now, as you start getting closer, you see a handful of these Magitech soldiers, more operable than the others. You can clearly see that they're damaged. They're just these massive scorch marks where their batteries tried to entirely fry themselves, but they have enough life left in them to pursue whatever order was given to them. And as we all descend into conflict, we are going to go into some initiative. Initiative works like a group check, where you choose a leader, they roll their initiative, and then everyone has a chance of assisting by rolling the same roll and adding a +1 on a success. So, which one of you would like to be the leader and make a dexterity insight check?
I've been rolling poorly all night.
So it's your time to
So they're
shine.
technically two- Is it? Are these dice gonna cooperate though?
Do it.
I think. Okay. I think Elila would want to, like, kind of blindly help this person that she's never met before. And she probably would be the one to start trying to go towards. Running to help her basically as soon as Blair starts pursuing and kind of decides for the group. So.
Yeah, and Spike's only like moment of conflict was protect Prime, protect other person.
Sure.
So you said Dex Insight?
Yep, and then everyone else, you can make the same roll, and if you roll a 10 or higher, you add +1 to Elila's roll.
Oh.
And you also have a dex modifier, yeah? An initiative modifier, rather.
I finally did it. I rolled a 15.
Woohoo!
Damn.
What's your initiative modifier?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But still, 15.
15.
The 10. So have a 16.
All right.
6.
Aw.
I also rolled a 6, so.
So
Okay, that's
brings you
fine.
to a total of a 16. Yeah, you are all definitely going first. Much like Lancer, we do have alternating initiative, where you all go first, and then the enemy, and then back to you, and then back to the enemy, and back and forth until both sides are out of combatants. So, as you are all scrambling down towards this merchant, this floating eye hex creature, and these damaged Elonian Magitech soldiers, which one of you would like to go first?
I'll take that. Yeah, no, you want to lead?
Go ahead.
All right, dope. Okay. So Vercingetorix is going to move in along with Blair, the Prime, and is just going to kind of break off to allow the merchant to move between the two of them as he gains a bit of a lead, and then is basically his hand is going to do one of those very anime things where it disappears under flowery robes, and then there's a iron knuckle situation, effectively, like a whole kind of iron gauntlet piece that he has, as he's just going to bring a big fist into the side of this Magitech.
So you have 3 of these Elonian Magitech soldiers and 1 Hex Eye.
Okay, I'll take the lead one.
Okay.
Set myself up.
Yeah.
And so he'll just move in, and I'm gonna make my iron knuckle check.
Yeah.
Now I have knowledge as power, so when I perform an accuracy check, I replace one of my attributes dice with insight. It's gonna be rolling Dex insight instead of Dex might.
Beautiful.
That is a 6 and a 7 for in most circles of mathematics, adding up to a total of 13.
Almost a crit.
Almost a crit in many ways, yes.
Defense of 7.
Okay. Okay, so
You take your highest die.
yes, plus 4. So it's going to be 11 physical.
11 points of damage. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just going to be this really quick step in front, and these things have arm or
They are
appendages,
humanoids looking. Yes.
Great. He's just gonna do this bit where he grabs onto the wrist or wrist parts of this and just allows the singular solid iron knuckle to collide while keeping his momentum up on them. Now I can just attack her.
Yes.
Or can I also?
If you have 2 of the same class of weapon, 1 in each hand, you could attack with both of them. If you have something that lets you multi-attack, you can do that. But otherwise, yes, you typically have 1 action in combat.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like 11 damage is pretty solid, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the one that you just Superman punched into is going to reel back. From its arm, it just starts extending these blades, and little parts of its iron gauntlets continue to form until it's full on holding this halberd in its hand, and it's going to try to take a swing at you.
Okay.
This is dexterity plus might. That's a D10, yeah. I know my D10s. That's a 16 to hit.
Yeah, no, that will hit.
For 22 points of damage.
Holy shit.
The highest die was 10, and it adds plus 12. And it's bolt damage, if that matters.
Yay.
That was a very high roll.
Okay. I've gotten past the point of crisis already, so we want to figure out what that means.
There are abilities that will
that's
affect
right.
crisis, but by itself, it does nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the first one immediately strikes back with the halberd, and the 2 of them are now just locked in this combat. Who'd like to go next?
Sabine is going to I'm trying to decide. I think that they would probably do the political move. So Sabine is going to hold their hand out, sort of palm up toward Blair, and assuming that Blair will grab their hand, Sabine is going to cast Mirror, which is an entropist spell. You twist the laws of magic. Until this spell ends, if an offensive spell is cast on the target, the creature who cast that offensive spell will be targeted in their stead.
Oh.
So just an attempt to protect the prime. And so Sabine kind of already has a bit of a sparkle to them, and they've got this like one streak of sort of starlight colored hair, and their hand sort of where Blair has grabbed them. You can kind of see it kind of starts to glow like a soft purple and kind of swirls around. So yeah, I'm gonna try to cast that, and so I get to roll insight plus willpower, a d10 and a d8. I have so many fears. Oh, that is double ones.
That is a fumble.
So I get a 5 heal point.
You do. You get a point. You start trying to
And-
cast that magic, and that hex eye creature just turns, looks at you, starts blinking rapidly, and you just feel that magic just pull away from you.
Glad. I thought that you were gonna be like, it has an adverse effect and accidentally blow the prime like off the stairs. I don't know if I am allowed to, just for like spice flavor. What is my name? Sabine would try to pull Blair behind them.
Absolutely. There is a guard
and-
action, which you can take, which prevents a character from being able to be targeted by attacks, but that is a whole action.
Yeah, this is just for flavor.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, feeling that magic start to wash over them, you know, they'd brandish not only the dagger, but a lyre in the other hand. And then that magic just gets yanked away. They seem just as confused as you, and then being pulled back behind you.
Sabine is just shit, fuck, trying to figure out what to do next.
Alright, I think that's going to bring us to the Hexi. We are going to go with a Shadow Wing spell against Sabine.
And if I'm able to, I think having seen what just happened, I would like to use my protect ability, which when another creature is threatened by an attack spell or other danger, you may take their place, and then basically they have to deal with me and not Sabine.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to go Shadow Wing against you. And this is Insight and Willpower against your magic defense, so that's a
Against the 13.
9. Nope. That's... I believe that fails. I don't think they get to add anything. Nope, that's just a total of a 9.
Yeah, and so you just see the dual shields come up and like, no.
Magic just hits the shield and just dissipates around it. It's back to you.
Just for clarification,
Mhm.
how do spells work again? If it's like, what would I be rolling? Insight?
I think it specifies in the spells of...
Okay, because mine doesn't, and that's why I'm.
What's the name of the spell?
Hallucination?
Hallucination.
It's an offensive or attack spell. But it's instantaneous 5x for 5 times T for magic points, and doesn't specify a roll.
Mine is in my class. It tells me what skills to use to roll. If I...
Gotcha. Okay, let me see. That is
Offensive elemental spells use insight and willpower for magic check.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. That's back to you.
If everyone's okay with me going, I have a spell. Okay. So I have a spell called Hallucination, obviously, which basically allows me to affect up to 3 creatures, and it basically causes them to see bizarre or frightening hallucinations, and then if they're affected, it would either daze or shake them. I was gonna say dazed or confused, and then I realized that was wrong. So I am basically thinking that, how many were there again?
There's 4 of them total.
Okay. I was thinking the one that is directly attacking Vercingetorix. I'm gonna get it, I promise, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
The one that's attacking. Yeah.
Sabine. That was not an offensive spell she cast, right?
No.
So non-offensive spells should automatically succeed with no check required.
Ooh, that's exciting. I didn't see that part. I'll take my fabulous.
Sorry, yeah,
back
Elila.
away.
Elila, go ahead.
And then that means that now Blair is protected.
Blair is protected.
Cool. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is, the one that's literally on Vercingetorix and two of the ones closest to them, I want to basically see if I can give them the hallucination that Vercingetorix is actually like much bigger and scarier than like just hunkering like 12-foot tall, like just absolutely demolishing them, so it will cause them to be shaken and hopefully not attack him more.
Yeah.
So that is insight and willpower.
They are
Same dice as last
magic
time.
defense 10.
Okay. All right. Dice jail again. That was a 1 and a 2, but technically not a fumble,
Not a fumble.
so it's fine.
If you feel like you have any traits to apply, you could spend a Fabula point to reroll.
I do. My identity is a troubled but proud mage who is looking for answers.
Absolutely.
So I would absolutely want to show off my abilities. I'm not using those dice again. Burn me once. Okay. 11.
11 is a success. The two of them just start, equipping themselves with those. The three of them start equipping themselves with those halberds, and then just you can see start looking up. Their eye lines just keep moving up as they are staring at a much bigger foe than they first thought. And you want them to be shaken, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Which means that their willpower die is reduced by 1.
Okay.
Bacon. Okay. That brings us back to them. One of the Magitech, or the Elonian soldiers, is not going to deal with the enormous brawler now standing in front of them. Sees the merchant running on past, and is going to continue on up towards you all. And we're gonna go with the Knights D4s to who we attack. A 2. That's a Lila. Just comes sprinting towards you, halberd at the ready, and just comes with this massive golf swing.
Can't help you because I can't use that protectability until next turn.
It's okay.
This is dexterity and might, so a D6 and a D10.
And this is regular defense?
Ooh, that's a fumble. That's double ones.
Yeah. So what do I get? Will they just get
They don't get any points. I don't think they get anything.
they don't get anything for a fumble?
They're not like you. They don't get cool stuff.
No.
I'm gonna double check. Fumbles are.
I don't need the help of it
40.
if they're doing 22 points of damage.
It was a very high roll.
It was an absurdly high roll.
But it's enough to scare the rest of us to know what
no.
they can do.
Lila, you get an opportunity.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me get that opportunity chart.
I have it. I sent a cheat sheet of it. It's in the Fabulous
Yes,
chat.
you did. You did. Okay.
Well, I'll let you look at that, and yeah, it just starts that swing. That halberd just clips along the rubble, and Thorn gets stuck. It has to look down, yank it back out of the rubble. It's back to you.
Quick question.
Mhm.
For scan, where it says you discover one vulnerability or one trait of the character you can see,
Mhm.
is it possible that all 4 of them would have the same thing since they're the same type?
The Elonian troopers would. The Hexai would not. It would be different.
Okay. But the Hexai would probably be the better of the things to scan.
You'd like to?
I'd like to see a vulnerability of the Hexai.
The Hexai is vulnerable to light.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
to know.
Back to you, Mike. Thank you. It's just
Yep.
you.
Yep. So, so I took this thing, that is, what do they call it? Dual shield bearer, which basically I have a shield equipped on each arm, and I get to treat it like a like a singular two-handed weapon. So I'm gonna hit somebody.
Yeah.
with
You
with
have
that.
you have one that's currently on Alila and two that are facing down Vercingetorix.
Okay. And I think because I definitely saw Vercingetorix get like got, and so I think I'm gonna go help him. Because the one on Alila seems like they've gotta have a heart to heart with a piece of wall here.
You have the one that you're the one that was already hit, or the one that's fresh.
So no, so Vercingetorix just has the one on him. Oh, he has two. I'm gonna go for the one that was already hit.
Sure.
And see if I can finish him off. So that's might and might. Ooh. Shoot, that's. Let's see here. You can invent these spell items when treat them as the following. So, just gotta see here. Ooh. Oh, yeah, no, that's so yeah, unfortunately that's only a 7.
7 is their defense.
Oh, well then, yay. So that's gonna be 10 damage.
Wow.
Plus my defense mastery. So that's actually that's gonna be 12 damage. Excuse me.
Beautiful. Coming in, just full on burying a shield into this thing, getting to shove it backwards away from your heavily wounded companion. I think that brings us back to them. There's only one left. That is the unwounded one who was gonna go ahead and take a swing at Spike. D6 and a D10. That is a 8, 9, 10, 11 against your defense.
Not good enough. I've got a 13.
The halberd just bounces off the shield. Alright. Top of the round is back to you.
Anybody?
Go again and see if I can knock this thing down.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Oh, nice. That's a 10.
And hits, yeah.
And that is going to be another 12 damage.
Beautiful. That's enough to take the first one out.
And I'll just look over at Vercingetorix and check to see that. I know he's hurting, but check to see that he's alright-ish.
Got a pretty nice halberd wound through the, like the top of the where the rib cage would be. And there's armor, there's blood seeping out from the armor, but otherwise, eh. Well, I'm gonna go with the Hex Eye before y'all kill it. We're gonna go with another Shadow Wings, this time against... Oh, let's go against Sabine. Why not? This is Insight and Willpower. So a D6 and a D8. Oh, that's a D10, D6 and D8. That's a 10 total against your magic defense.
That does not fit.
Just burning through these MP. And it's just gonna hover there, right out of reach. It is a flying creature, so it cannot be targeted by melee attacks.
Bugger.
But it's back to you.
Would me saying something just to let them all know that it's vulnerable to light be able to be like a free action? I could just yell it
Absolutely.
out, or
Yeah.
okay. Just after it almost attacks Sabine, I say we need to find some way to get it into the light or get light to it. It's vulnerable to that. We can defeat it that way.
Blair forgot to go last round. Because I forgot Blair was a combatant. Which is fine, because Blair's just going to encourage. Vercingetorix. Is anyone else wounded?
Special.
Well, Vercingetorix, you recover 10 hit points. And you choose either Dexterity, Insight, Might, or Willpower, and you treat the chosen attribute as being one die size higher, up to a D12.
I think I'll take that insight then. Break in a D12.
There you go. Just starts letting out this almost lullaby of a spell that full on just covers you like a cloak, feeling that boosting magic. Now, sorry, it is back to all of you. The Hex Eye's done.
Just to be clear on where everybody is, there was a soldier in front of me, but there was two, rather. But now there's only one?
Now there's only one.
Yo, mind if I go and try and smack this thing again?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna make an attack on it with my new D12. That is going to be 16, and it's, I believe, because I have 2 8s on the die, is going to be a critical
crit.
success.
Absolutely it is.
Well, I have Frenzy as a Fury, so...
And you get an
it's a
opportunity.
critical yes. In this case, I am going to... I'd like to break its item.
How dare you?
Its weapon. As he's gonna kind of do this swirl of clockwork of windmill strike as he kind of brings down a hand to bring it solid to like keep it in one spot, and then with like a kind of karate shot will cut right off that bit there. So that's also 12 damage.
How dare you? Just full on shattering that halberd. Did you bust through it, fist denting into the chest of this Magitech soldier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not happy about that.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be.
Nope.
I release its fist and kind of give it a back donkey kick to give some space.
It's, yeah. It's just gonna punch you then. 6 and a D10. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Damn, you gotta roll lower. Yeah, that'll hit.
That
I'm gonna use
is...
my protect again, so, and I can do that before the check is made. So, Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and right
Hold the shield
of
out in
it.
front.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
It's like, nope.
Attack misses. Back to you.
Nice.
If anybody has something planned, if not, I can go.
Yep, go for it.
So I am going to when the Hexai cast the spell, it sort of just distorted and kind of disappeared in front of Sabine, and I'm going to try and send that back toward it and cast an Omega spell. So here's to hoping, because it's going to be really cool if it hits. Inspiration, insight, and willpower. So a D8 and a D10. Oh, I hope this hits. Oh, that's double sixes. It's a 12.
Definitely a success.
Yes. Okay, and that's a crit, correct?
Yep. So you also get an opportunity.
Yes. Okay, so the spell, very anime-esque, kind of comes to a point and just shoots out as a beam toward it. I invoke Doom on my foe, turning strength into frailty. The target loses an amount of hit points equal to 20 plus half the target's level.
Rude.
I want to shoot that thing out of the sky. And then, let me look at the opportunities. I didn't think that was going to crit success.
20 plus half its level?
Yes.
Jesus. Wow.
We don't
Okay.
even need the light vulnerability anyway.
What kind of damage is this?
Oh, so sorry. This is gonna be. Oh, it does not say.
So it just suffers damage. It's not.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I can look. Where's that? Target loses. Oh, what's the little lightning bolt? Oh no, it's just an offensive spell.
Offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
doesn't say.
think it's a type. I think they just lose health.
Okay. Okay, cool. And then for my opportunity, I would like to know well, no, I don't. I would like to cast. Do I know what it was using to roll its attacks?
It does
Yes,
seem
I
to be a spellcaster, so it's probably willpower.
Okay, so I would like to affect it with poison.
Ooh.
No, I can't. Oh
No.
man, wait.
So you can make it dazed, shaken,
It's
slowed, or
shaken,
weak.
Slow or weak. I want to do the one that does willpower.
So shaken.
Yes, that one. Thank you.
Got it. Brutal hit. Well, it would be them, but they have all gone. It is back to all of you.
Two left. Or one left, rather.
They,
The one left right in front of me,
yes.
still. Okay.
Well, there is one in front of you and Sabine and Blair, and then one in front of Spike and Vercingetorix.
Okay. I mean, I can just pull out my weapon.
Yeah?
I don't want to use all my mind points right now, so I can just pull out my weapon unless anyone has anything else they want to do. Okay.
Go for it.
I pull out a rapier, and it is Dex and Insight, and then it's the highest roll plus 6 if I hit, which I probably don't because that is a 5.
You can spend Ultima points, or Fabula points. Right?
It would be my last Fabula point. I think I need to save it.
Okay. It is just gonna
I
glance
take
off
out the
armor.
sword in like a grand gesture, and then I forget how to use it. I'm just like,
Ding! Forget that this being is entirely made of metal.
you don't really have metal dummies to duel with in the village, so.
Oh, I guess that one in front of you could have gone. Because he hasn't gone yet. But now he'll
Good,
go.
I'm glad I reminded you of that. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. That's 9, 10, 11, 12. Where's your
Yeah.
defense?
Yeah.
So that is 18 points of bolt damage.
All right. Okay. Ow. Okay. 18. Can I do math? I can do math. Okay. We're good. It's fine.
All right.
Everything's fine.
Back to you, and I think it's just Spike.
Yeah. Wait, I kind of lost my sense of whose turn it was, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the one that's right here that I'm dealing with.
Absolutely.
And hopefully I can mess it up enough that it will.
Defense 7.
Shoot. Nope. Just shy. That's a 6.
You can also spend a Fabula point to invoke a bond. You have a bond with Vercingetorix?
Do not.
That probably isn't going to help you.
Yeah.
Do you have any traits that would
I
let you
can
reroll?
cheer you on from across the room.
So if you don't, that's all right.
Yeah, no, I don't really see anything that's really gonna help me too much
Yeah.
here.
So you just a moment the two of you just get locked into place. Its giant metal body just slamming against the shields. Well, they're all done. Now we're actually gonna go with Blair this time, who repeats back out, light magic, you said? And we're gonna cast Lux.
Then you got. Ooh.
And it's gonna target the Hexai and both of the remaining soldiers. And that is Insight plus Willpower. What is your Insight and Willpower? Insight D10, Willpower D8. Oof. That is a crit. That's 2 5s. No, it has to be 6s or higher.
Yep.
Not a crit. That is still...
Close.
That's definitely a success. Dang it, I'm so excited for a moment.
But it's still a vulnerability of the Hexai.
It is.
So kind of a crit against that.
So the Hexai is taking 40 points of damage. That is
Oh.
5 plus 15 doubled. The Hexai is obliterated. And that's 20 against each of the armored foes. That means that the second one is also destroyed. Vercingetorix and Spike, the two of you, just see just this streak of light come down, slam into the knight in front of you, and just burn it from the inside out. Otterpote, thank you so much for hanging out and for the villain points, and I'll put it to very good use, I promise. Have a great night. There is only one enemy left, and it would very quickly be surrounded, and I think this is actually... No, this isn't the one that you destroyed their weapon, but still, Alila, this thing that's facing you down, halberd ready to strike again, and you see your companion just swarming it.
Good.
Would you all keep this thing active or just trash it?
Let's get questions.
Keep parts of it active.
Did we notice if any of them spoke?
It did not. They seem barely functional.
Elila will kind of like stand there for a second and just be like, speak your mission. State your mission. Objective. And see if like any little little buzzwords do anything.
I think they were hunting me. Oh god. Thank you so much. And now you'd see a figure in just a bright gold cloak, a like travel tunic type dress, wearing that massive pack that's about as tall as she is. As this girl pulls down the hood, and you see just a pair of round ears, almost bear-like, on top of their head. Thank you again. I'm Olivia. I was just passing through, and ruins are always such a good place to scavenge and find stuff to sell. I didn't know they were soldiers here. I'm sorry.
Do you have safe travel back home?
Oh yeah. I'm very good at slipping in and out of places.
Well, before you go anywhere, did you find anything worth selling?
Yes. Found one
Purely
thing.
academic curiosity. I don't have to buy it. Just I'm curious about what you found.
Well, yeah, I got some stuff. Right now, you all could take a few moments to peruse her inventory. You can spend IP, which is your inventory points, to replenish some of your stock. You can buy remedies, elixirs, and tonics. The remedies and elixirs cost 3 IP each, tonics cost 2. The remedy recovers 50 health, the elixir recovers 50 MP, and the tonic cures 1 status effect.
I would like to purchase an elixir. That's the one that brings back MP.
Yep.
Okay, I would like to purchase those.
Just is the merchant selling them for?
It's 3 IP each.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to. I was thinking actual coin. Sorry.
I'll get a remedy.
I think I would. Elixir was the one that was mine points.
Typically, if you wanted to recover inventory points, it would cost you 10 zenith per IP.
Okay. I was wondering where the zenith came in.
In addition, she would pull out a about double fist-sized kind of yellowish gold gem. I found this down there. It's pretty sure it's a thunderstone.
Would I know what that is?
Did you do much studying into Magitech?
No, not in the slightest.
3 in elemental power, and it's called a thunder gem.
It is an elemental. It's an elemental stone.
Okay, is that something I might be familiar with?
Yeah.
Be able to roll an
I would-
insight for.
I wouldn't even say that you would have to roll.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a large battery.
Oh.
It can be shattered to release all of its stored energy, but it's usually used as a big old battery.
Probably nothing we can use.
Would we need one of those to power the airship? Could that be used to power the
I didn't think of that.
How
You
much
might-
were you thinking of selling this for?
Well, it'd probably go for at least 1,000 zenith. Back home.
What about a favor with the monarch? of these lands.
Well, well, that would be great, but I don't, I don't think the king or the queen are coming down to see me.
If you use your materials to permit us safer travel back to where we need to go, we can ensure you are rightfully compensated. Your efforts will be well documented.
Okay. Um, are you in any way gesturing towards Blair or anything?
No, I'm making it more clear of my own status.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
kind of give a little bit of an indication that I'm very important.
Would you like to make a roll for that?
No, I'd like it to just happen.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I can make a roll. Can I do maybe insight willpower?
Yeah, sounds great to me.
If
Oh,
it
okay.
if it helps at all, I do have an insignia of the Royal Ranger Corps on my attire.
You could try to assist if you'd like.
Sure.
Insight willpower?
14.
14.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah. Very much clearly at first thinking that you were kidding, and then, oh, oh no, you're serious. You know the king and queen, really?
I should certainly hope so, as their royal aide and protector.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if I didn't have to, sneak around and scavenge, it'd make my job a lot easier.
Indeed.
You kind of still need something for it. Maybe 500 once I come back and visit?
I'm sure that could be arranged.
I feel like Elila would be looking at Vercingetorix, kind of wondering like why we aren't mentioning or pointing out Blair.
Sabine is definitely looking at Blair.
I'm sure that
kind
could
of
be
just
arranged.
glancing.
Yes, I can promise you that my mother and father will pay you the 500 and we'll get you a proper trading license. Immediately, Olivia's just looking over at them. I'm sorry, mother and father? You're... Oh, I'm so sorry. It immediately drops down to a bow and it's just like, I didn't know. I'm so sorry, Your Majesty. I'll grab my stuff and I will be gone. Please take the Thunderstone. It's all yours. Just looks at the Blair. Just looks at all of you, just like,
I go over and lift the merchant back up. You haven't met our regent, our prime, clearly.
nope.
And I just kind of escort over. Like,
Yeah, Blair would kind of pull her off and have a chat between the two of them, just so Andrew doesn't have to converse with himself.
I was really hoping you were going to.
But eventually coming back with the Thunderstone in hand and Olivia happily just clambering on out of the rooms. So, he said that she saw some people down here at the dome while she's been scavenging, and I guess one of them spotted her and sent those soldiers after her. Saw like a woman in a long cloak with a big old spear and just a heavily armored knight. Didn't recognize any insignia or anything.
we saw what these lightly armored things could do. It seems
Good thing she sold us some potions at least. So we can rest up in between, right?
So I was slightly wrong. Your IP, I'm pretty sure you can spend whenever, just to get things, and then recharging your IP is when you're at, cities, you're with merchants, things like that. Which is very cool. It's kind of uses that Blades in the Dark system of like you just have gear, and you just pull things out of your gear when you need it. All right. So it looks like they're already down there. Whatever they're searching for, if they got some of these soldiers active, they've probably already found it. We can't let them just walk away with whatever this is. But I understand if any of you want to turn back. You've already done more than enough to help. Either way, thank you for being here.
I mean, I'm not turning around, and we'll kind of look around at everybody else and...
I mean, no offense, Brian, but I don't know if you could do this by yourself.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Not even a little bit. So thank you.
Besides, we don't even know what the range is on that weapon. That could have been a test shot for all we know.
It's very much what I was worried about.
And I guess we have to go onward.
All right. Are there any final... Go ahead.
Just quick mechanics. Through resting, can we recover our MP and HP? I don't know why. I don't feel like that's the case, and I couldn't find it.
Really long rest?
Resting scenes, page 91. Yeah, that would be like setting up camp for the night, like going to a bar in town.
I feel like long rests never happen in one-shots.
Yeah.
When a character rests, they enjoy the following benefits. They recover all their hit points and mind points, and they recover from all status effects. But generally, resting requires 4 to 6 hours of inactivity.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I retroactively? I can spend an Ultima Fabula point if you want me to, but can I say that I bought a second elixir?
You can spend as much of your IP as you like.
Whenever. We don't have to have bought it from.
Yeah, it's just like you... Your inventory points are like, you have gear, you just don't have to determine what it is until you're ready to use it.
Perfect. That's what I want. Thank you.
It's very cool. Alright. Any final preparations before we march towards the dome and the final battle? Oh, I guess I should post this. There you go. There's our music right now. As you all make your way through the ruins towards the very bottom of this crater, towards the large dome-shaped building, there's a heat that just is emanating, washing over you all. From this close, you can see that it is entirely made of marble and brass, streaked by vertical gaps that still glow faintly with that purple light. Oddly enough, it almost seems to resemble more of an engine than it does a building. But staring on towards the center, you see a large circular room, its roof supported by a one singular massive central pillar, covered in these arcane sigils from head to toe, from top to bottom. Judging by the scraps scattered around on the ground, the pillar was originally encased entirely in brass. But the lower section has been smashed to pieces by some unknown force. Standing near the pillar is a tall woman, gray hair tied back into a single braid, her left hand gripping a long ivory white spear. In her other hand, she holds something that resembles a pocket watch. What would you like to do? I'm sorry, behind her is the enormous onyx black Magitech set of armor. There it is.
Oop, there it is.
What would you like to
Has
do?
she seen us?
Unknown.
Does it seem like she would have been able to hear everything that happened before we entered this area?
Probably
Like
not.
just big acoustics. Okay. All right.
Sabina's gonna look over to Blair. Do you think you can talk your way out of this one?
I don't know, but we can sure try. Actually, I think I recognize that spear. I would say that Vercingetorix, you would probably also recognize it. A weapon belonging to one of the former combat instructors of the royal family, an individual named Desdemona.
Yes, indeed. What's she doing here?
That's really not good.
No,
We
it's not.
we should hurry.
Wait, what makes it not good?
Desdemona was one of the former generals. Got hired on by my family to help teach me and my siblings how to defend ourselves.
And she no longer works for you, I'm assuming.
I
Ended badly?
I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. If that is
Clearly.
even her.
Clearly something called her away and has now called her here. I still think diplomacy might be a strong first option, my prime. A hand outstretched in good nature can still be curled into a fist. The opposite is not true.
Actually,
All right.
considering she might know your defense style.
Yeah. And unless any of you would stop her, Blair would start walking towards the room.
Nope, gonna walk next to Blair.
Pull up on the other side.
The
I
Lylans.
don't know if I would. I don't know if I would move forward, like to match with Blair. Just because that might kind of automatically seem like a ambush kind of situation with just 5 of us going right up to her. So she'd probably stay back for now. Maybe move up a little bit, but probably wouldn't approach. Just be within earshot.
Sabine?
Sabina's gonna hang back, but crossbow ready. Just loaded, not pointed at anybody, but just loaded and ready to go.
You would recognize bits of the armor. Those of you that know anything about constructs, a lot of it is very familiar construction, but there are bits of Elonian Magitech that seem to be keeping it alive. Pause on that music. Add loud. The echoing of the footsteps of all of you and Blair caused the woman to turn her head. I'd have preferred to take my compass and avoid unnecessary violence. I'd ask who... My Prime, I'm surprised to see you here. And your royal advisor, and these must be your friends. It's good that you've been given the freedom from your very tight leash to go and pay visits to parts of your kingdom. Blair's just kind of returning to that shaking, but more out of anger than fear at the moment. Why? Why are you doing this? Don't... Look, I have what I came for. At least as much as I can find here. I just want to leave with my treasure and my brother. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
There.
She looks up at the suit of armor. Tristan will have a full body again someday. For now, this will do.
Are you responsible for the attack on our ship?
It was you. When I activated the compass, it did bring part of the city back to life. It must have been some inlaid defenses that activated.
You found that wise to activate something without full comprehension of what it's capable of doing.
Desperate, so yes.
You don't have to be desperate, Desdemona.
Not make me choose between you and my family. Not when I'm finally so close to being reunited.
It's not a choice you have to make. There are certainly better ways to go about this than slinking around in the dark and activating things beyond your comprehension.
All of us have your privilege. I will give you one chance. Turn, leave, forget you ever saw me. You all get to live.
Is that a threat?
Yes.
Your brother in this suit of Magitech armor. How is it he appears as a construct?
She kind of glances down at the pocket watch looking device. I don't fully yet know how it works, but I'll get there. I brought him back. Enough that mattered anyways.
Would he say the same?
He will be grateful. Look, the Elonian soldiers will be by shortly. That light was as much to a beacon for them as it was to you. And unless you want to incite a war when they arrive, you had better leave. Blair's just absolutely seething. You can see magic starting to pool in their hand. That same light spell that just tore through the soldiers and that hex eye is just building.
There's absolutely no time to lose. How far away is she from me?
The room isn't any bigger than maybe 40 feet across. You're kind of standing on opposite ends.
Hey, above the table, are we okay with fighting this motherfucker? I know they did the bad guy speech thing, and that makes them seem scary, but I think we put a punch or two into them, and they start to sound a whole lot less scary with less teeth.
Oh, I'm not scared. I was trying to hold back what I was thinking about saying and fighting back, so I don't mind.
I just want to make sure no one's like, I don't want to fight. All right.
Well, the only thing that is going through Spike's mind is that another living being in a suit of Magitech is extremely intriguing, and it almost seems like whatever she's plotting would be better done under uh Verson's guidance than just left to do her own experimenting somewhere. So, like, wondering if maybe there's a way where we can all just take this down a notch and maybe take it to a lab somewhere and figure this out.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to want to take this to a lab. The only lab this would be going to is a mortician's office.
Well, Blair is going to just look back at all of you, just get the side eye, and wait for a nod from all of you.
I think we're all initiative.
Let's roll some initiative. Pick the villain versus hero music back up. Who would like to lead? Blair could also lead, if you'd like.
Yeah.
She has good motive too.
Alright, for Blair, that would be a d6 plus a d10. And then if any of you succeed, let me know and we'll add a +1 to this.
Can you remind me what we roll for initiative?
Dexterity Insight, I believe.
Excellent. Thank you.
That's an 18 from Blair.
Okay, so it doesn't even matter that I rolled an 8 and it's not enough. Good, good, good.
Yeah, I rolled a 5 at
That's
that.
a 12 for Sabine.
I've got 12 total as well.
That's a
20!
total of a 20, and Blair does have a bond with I think all of you. So that's a total of a 21. The enemies literally cannot roll high enough to beat that. On a d6 and a d10, I rolled a 6 and a 10. They are furious. And you are all up first.
Does anybody have an idea?
I had an idea. As someone who has a pretty high chance of hitting a critical, I could go up there and smack the get the compass, and then we can decide at some later point to beat a retreat now that the person doesn't have a MacGuffin of destruction.
Question. If I were to theoretically unleash lightning in an area where there are friendlies, is there any chance that I could accidentally hit the friendlies?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't think I saw anything about friendly fire in this.
That's what I was thinking, but like, there's always that chance of like, oh, if you like fumble it, then oh no, it accidentally hits your buddy instead. And just wanted to make sure if
Cruel, sick, twisted game would do that.
Or, an old 2nd edition D&D.
Oh, that's
travels.
exactly what I was raised on. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So,
I started with 2nd edition.
who would like to go first?
Could I?
Yeah.
I'll go get beat up as well.
Yeah.
I'll
Let's do it.
get warped. I'll get morphed to all hell. I'm going to So what I'm actually going to do, because I have an iron knuckle,
Mm-hmm.
unarmed attacks are also in the punching category,
Mm-hmm.
and they're always equipped in an unarmed hand.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a multi-attack
Yeah.
as I move the distance to close because I'm just rolling for crits here.
That's what I said, and you said no. I don't get to
Because I'll
multi-attack.
explain later
It was
for damage
visible to
reasons.
him when he said no earlier, probably.
Okay, and that is 2 7s.
Is this
So-
against Desdemona or Tristan?
Yeah, Desdemona.
Yeah,
The-
defensive 9, but that's a crit.
It is a crit. So I would like, if possible, to get my to like just move as was she like holding the compass in her hand?
Compass in one hand, spear in the other.
Yeah, just kind of move in really quick, and I want to like knock it up in the air, not like into my possession, but just like kung fu movie, kind of just have it be floating up in the air.
Yeah.
That moment to draw attention to it, like the camera would be above as it's floating. So rather than using the high dice, it's just my high roll rather would be considered 0 with multi attacks. So this is only gonna be 6 damage, which is why it's not as good. But with my unarmed attack, that's only going to be a 4. So I don't think that's going to hit.
So 4 will not hit. No.
Okay.
First
So
one
like
just
knock it up. try throwing
slamming
over
into
her
the
way.
hand, causing the compass to fly up, and then sidestepping the other one, still kind of partially tracking the compass, partially eyes on you.
I am going to basically with that like angle myself. So I'm now thinking like basketball terms, like I'm blocking. The booty blocking.
Yeah. Well, that is going to bring us to Tristan. Who, boy. We're gonna use the ground shaker. And we're gonna target Vercingetorix and Spike. This is just might twice, so it's 2d10s.
Oh, I love when he does that.
10?
Not enough for me.
That's gonna meet my defense.
Is going
Which I
to.
assume. Yeah.
So that is 11 earth damage.
Ooh, ouch, my bones.
As
Right.
this giant set of armor just pulls out this massive hammer and just slams it into the ground, causing this crack to shoot up to Vercingetorix and Spike. Just these columns of stone shooting up, trying to jab themselves into you. And
Okay. So I have a question.
Mhm.
Because the wording is a little ambiguous in this particular situation, where I'm being targeted by the same attack Vercingetorix is.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I can use my protect to help him in this situation.
you would not be able to because you're also the target.
Okay, all right, that's what I figured, but I figured it was worth the ask.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to you.
I think I'd like to take it for a minute because I'm gonna do my bind and summon, and I'm going to, do my, my oak, and this now makes me resistant to earth and poison damage, and actually I'm immune to the poison effect.
Okay.
And if I recover HP, I get 5 extra
Heck yeah.
HP.
What does this look like?
So what you see is I bring the shields in front of me, and then there is this like ghostly green treant spirit that puffs out of like my shoulders and just growls at Tristan and Desdemona, and then like stomp back into me, and now like every part of me that isn't like obvious metal is just glowing this bright green.
Beautiful. I guess Desdemona's gonna go. And we're gonna go ahead and cast a spell, just twirling that spear around and then jabbing it out, letting this wave of wind wash off of it and come slicing across Sabine, Alila, and Blair. And that is Insight and Willpower, so that is a D8 and a D8. Cool, that's easy. 5 and a 3, so that's 11 versus your magic difference.
Nope.
It's gonna miss
This
all
isn't-
3 of you.
This isn't targeting me at all.
Nope.
Oh, I thought I was booty to befronts there.
Basically just taking out the spear and just like jabbing it towards your companions, and it summons this little mini tornado that just whips around.
What type of attack was that again?
Was a spell, an offensive spell?
Oh, sorry, I meant, like, what type of damage would it have been?
Air.
Wind?
Air. Okay. Oh. They're fighting with earth and air. That's fun.
Yeah.
A fun little mixture.
Back to you though.
So, I could either protect or attack, but I have elemental things against these elemental fuckers. So, what do you guys want? Do you want protection or do you want just kick butt?
I think whatever Lila would do.
Well, okay. So the thing is, Alila right now, when there was a moment where I think Desdemona said something about us being privileged, and I know that was probably like kind of put towards Vercingetorix and Blair. She starts doing this thing where she kind of like is forming a little storm in her hands, kind of just out of like anger and also just kind of trying to calm herself. But I think after that, she basically is going to yell, like, what makes you think we all don't have people we want back? What makes you think that we all have privilege? And I'm going to try to unleash Fulgur, which if I actually can pull this off, it's HR plus 15 electric damage.
Oh, you do
Lord.
also all gain a Fabula point because the villain arrived.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. If a 7 isn't good enough, I can reroll it. Because I just got a Fabula point that I can spend right away.
7 is not enough.
Okay. Yeah, I figured. Alright. That's fine. I'm going to... Again, troubled and proud mage, going on the troubled this time. And it's a 7 again! I give up.
Fortunately not.
I just yell things and have a temper tantrum.
Well, I guess Tristan should go. We're gonna go with a Iron Gauntlet. Oh, I'm sorry, who was that targeting?
It would have been both of them.
Well, Tristan is, as you start to cast that spell, even though it seems to miss, does just reel back, and just with this force, even from a distance, just this instinctive sweep back towards you. With a magical counter, after a player casts a spell, that Tristan automatically performs the Iron Gauntlet. Oh, it's any spell! Which means I think that works against Spike too. Or is that not that was an ability or a spell?
No, that's an ability.
Okay, so not against you. But we're going to try with an Iron Gauntlet against Elida. Which is Dex and Might, so a D8 and a D10. That's 18.
After 8, got excited for a second, but yeah, no, yeah.
It's just 10.
Okay.
It's a flat 10.
Oh,
No matter
is
what,
that-
it's just 10.
Okay, is it magic defense or regular defense?
Physical against your regular defense.
Okay, because that's exactly a 10. So what does that do to me?
It's just 10 damage.
Okay.
But now Tristan is actually going to go and is going to go with a Iron Gauntlet again. Wow, Iron Gauntlet against Vercingetorix. Same roll. That's 7 total. Right? No, it's a 5 total. I only assume that misses. But he is now up in your face in front of his sister. And it's back to you.
Me.
Can I do a thing really quick? Dope. I'm flanked on either side by baddies, yeah? I got a baddie either side of me. Awesome. Excellent. Can I use a Fabula point to move the compass that's up in the air?
Alter the story? Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I want to do, Vercingetorix is going to look between the two of them and how they're flanking him, and then is going to basically backflip towards Desdemona. I assume she brings the spear to protect herself, and use that, launch up, and then get onto her brother's shoulders and basically Pele kick the compass over to Blair. I'm giving myself as my action. I'm taking my healing item to not die.
Okay.
If that's an action, right? I assume that's
Yes.
an action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Dope. I am no longer almost dying.
Beautiful. Well, that just leaves Desdemona, who spent 10 MP on the Ventus spell. And we're going to go with Spirit Piercer. A ranged attack. She's going to pull up the spear, hold it in front in like a bow, grab an invisible string, pull it back, and there's just this beam of light that comes down like a bowstring. She turns it towards Elida. You've cast a spell in this fight.
I
we're
did.
Yeah, we're gonna go into you.
Oh no.
And this is Dex plus Willpower, so D8 plus D8. 2 plus 8, so
If it's magic defense, then I have 12.
14. It's just an attack, so
No.
against just defense.
Okay. Well,
That is 13 points of air damage.
and what happens if I say that I only had 12 hit points?
Then, I jump in front of you,
Thank
and
you.
I take that.
Can you handle that?
Yes. Oh, I haven't taken a single point of damage. In fact, that doesn't even hit me.
So I believe it's still, because it would do damage against Lila instead of the attack missing, the damage just flips to you.
Okay. So let's see here. If the oh, whoops, no. Okay. Okay.
What's the name of the ability again?
It's just called protect.
Protect. Attack and we attack. Protect and provoke.
And yeah, any checks that are part of the danger will be performed against you. So...
Protect. There we go.
Yeah, it's the Guardian.
Oh, if the danger affects you, it would affect you twice. So I get you. You probably could have stepped in the way.
Yeah, I just reread that
Mhm.
and realized. Sorry for so generous.
It's all good. Yeah, that's it. It's back to your turn. Thanks, Nyap. Have a great night.
I think it's me.
Yep.
You and Blair are the only ones left.
Elila and Generous. How are we looking?
I just took a healing thing, so I'm all set. Alila clearly is in need of assistance.
Okay.
Squishy.
So then I will use my Encourage skill as an Orator. I'm going to spend 5 mind points, choose another creature that can hear and understand me. The creature recovers SL times 5 hit points. I don't know what that means. What does SL mean?
What's the skill level?
5.
Well, how many points you
No,
put into
2.
it?
So 10.
So you get 10 hit points, and you get to choose Dex, Insight, Might, or Willpower, and up the die by 1 side.
Ooh. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is huge help.
We're gonna jump back to Lux then. Who's gonna target both of them, spending 20 MP. And go ahead and release those magic bolts of light. Tristan is vulnerable to light. So I need to roll these. 10 is good enough for both of them. So Tristan is going to take 40 points again. Y'all, Lux is a horrible, just an awful spell. And does the bonus taking 20.
The worst.
Hard disagree. That thing has been kicking serious tail this whole.
Yeah, that was just 60 points of damage.
If you didn't want to be hurt by the damage, don't be weak to it.
Just
God.
screaming out. A lot of it is just incoherent, but you catch bits about my family and how dare you betray us. Just hurling these bolts of energy. That brings us to the top of round 2, which you all have initiative.
Don't want to go finish off dear brother? No, sorry, I was offering it up.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm just gonna try to shoot something. So
Let's see
I
it.
am happy to go. So I'm gonna shoot with my crossbow. 8 and a D10. An 11.
Versus Tristan?
Tristan.
Does not hit.
Can I use my Can I use my Fabula point to?
What trigger would you like to invoke?
I would like to use my theme of hope. As Sabine is really trying to prove themselves. They are hoping beyond hope that this hits because they don't want these people to think that they're
Absolutely.
innocent. It's a 9. Did nothing for me.
Fortunately, it's just going to just jam into the armor. Well, I think we're gonna go back to Tristan, who is gonna try to take an Iron Gauntlet swing up to Vercingetorix. And this is Strength plus, or Dex plus Might, so a D8 plus a D10. That's not 13.
Yep, that'll hit.
Highest die is a 6, so that is 16 points of physical damage.
Okay. Damn, their iron knuckles better than mine.
He is also massive.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Just takes that swing up at you, bringing you down to the ground at least. So, like, come to a sliding halt after taking that massive backhand. Alright, back to you.
Um, so I think we've been seeing a lot of air and earth
Mhm.
attacks. So I think what I want to do is Spike, are you already continually protected from earth damage for the
Am.
rest of this? Okay. Um
And poison
I-
too. Just in
okay.
case.
I want to make Sabine versus oh my god. I had it for a second
Just-
and then I lost it.
Just say
Versus
whatever.
generous. I know. I'm sorry. It's versus generous. And Blair be have elemental shroud and they will be immune to air damage.
Is this
So there'll be
a,
some of us that are immune to air and some immune to earth.
is this a spell?
So yes. But it's not an offensive spell, so I don't have to roll for it, but can he use that against me somehow?
After any player character casts a spell, just takes one like gliding step and tries to continue that backhand into you the moment the magic finishes. 21 total, which is 10 more points of physical. Yeah.
Are you looking just in case? Just you got some back, I think. Last.
Yes. You said 21 damage?
10.
10. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna stop doing spells after this though, but it's fine. It's fine.
the magical counter ability counts the highest die as a 0, so it's only ever going to do 10 damage.
Okay. Well, that's something. I still have hit points, and 3 of you are immune to air now, and Spike is already immune to ground, so hopefully that'll kind of like confuse them about what kind of attack to use.
You hear Desdemona shouts it from across the room. Well, that's just rude. How dare you? Fine,
Had
you
to
die
get back at you
first.
somehow. Rude.
And
You call me rude.
Desdemona's gonna go and try with another
shit.
Spirit Piercer. That is Dex plus Willpower, so a D8 plus a D8. You get an opportunity. It's double ones.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry,
No.
I'm just pulling up the...
No, I have villain points. We're gonna spend that Ultima point. We're gonna use the trait Determined. And as soon as the
Also,
arrow
guy-
starts to miss, just pulls back with another one.
Okay, but can I use the 1 point that we... Never mind, I'm not doing that. Because you have multiple villain points.
An 11 against your defense?
Regular defense, yes.
So that is...
Magical defense?
It's air damage, but it is against regular defense.
Oh, gross.
Nope, I will take that because I've got my protect back for this turn. So nope, you don't take that.
Do you have
Really only gonna survive because of Spike at this point.
Hey, I'm the party tank. This is what I am designed to do.
So you've used it against... You've used it for Vercingetorix, and you've used it against Elila before. We're only at round 2, I believe.
No, I didn't use it for Vercingetorix.
Oh, you couldn't. That's right. Or you could, but we
misinterpreted that.
Beautiful. So the shot's again just blocked by the shield, and she's now glaring at Spike. Back to you.
anybody else go. Wait, so did you say that we were able to just kind of say in our inventory that we had the things that we could potentially have bought?
Yeah,
Or
just,
do we
as
have
long
to
as you
have
have inventory points to cover.
I do. How much would one of the things that revives hit points give back?
I believe it's 3.
Well, it's 3 inventory points, but 50 hit points, if I recall you.
Yeah.
Oh, you gain 50 hit points back?
50, yeah.
That's more than I even started with. What am I doing wrong?
So yeah, if you wanna...
I have full health again, guys. It's fine.
Is that your turn?
Can I do that at the very end of, like, when I was doing the shroud?
That is an action
Okay.
to take the potion.
Okay.
But someone else could do it and just shove it into your face.
No, we need to actually have actual things happening.
Okay. So who's up?
I think it's just me at this point, yeah?
Actually gone yet.
I haven't fun,
Oh,
but I don't have anything, so please.
okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go try and beat up Desdemona.
Yeah.
I'm gonna land after taking that hit, and as you know, Big Boy turns his attention away, I'm gonna close rank on the problem child.
Go for it.
So that's going to be a singular hit. That's only gonna be a 9 to hit, though.
9 is
I
her
think that meets
defense.
the defense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, good news. There was a high dice on the 1 that saved it. So that's going to be 13 physical damage.
Ooh. Looking very hurt. Just comes straight across with the jab, catching, like, tries to bring the spear up to defend herself, but you get right through the guard. And eyes are between you and your companions, like, who do I kill? Who is it? Who wants it? You're muted.
From the top.
Still muted.
Just act it out. Just act it out.
We saw, like, some punch action.
There was some like diving. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
We'll come back around to it. Yeah, I suppose then we'll just go with a heart piercer and melee stab back against the
Okay, wait.
Oh, there it is. Hi.
Hi. All right. So you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I changed?
Ah.
Nothing. So
Did you just
yeah.
not actually press the unmute button back?
No, I did. There was no unmute button. I didn't mute. It was weird. Anyway, I was just saying. I was gonna say he rolls in really high, as you say. You know, you betrayed, everything you once stood for, Desdemona, and like brings that up as she catches the block, and then he's just gonna like cut his entire momentum and like catch her in the gut.
Yeah. She will try to retaliate, bringing the spear down onto you with a nice heart piercer, which is Dex plus Might. So she has D8s across the board, so she just rolls 8s for everything.
Well, hopefully less than 8.
That's a 21 with 2 7s, so that is a crit.
Oh.
For 19 physical damage.
I'm still up, but I don't feel good.
And she gets an opportunity. She is going to just let out this war cry, drawing hopefully the rest of your companions' attention to the duel between you and her, and is going to give Tristan +4 to his next check. But it's back to you.
Sabine, did you go?
No,
I have
Sabine
not.
needs to do something.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, how's Tristan looking?
Hurt. Pretty, pretty near bloody, or near crisis.
And Desdemona is hurt too?
Yep.
Okay. Sabine's gonna try for it again. I'm gonna try to cast Omega on Desdemona.
Ooh.
Ooh. I'm actually gonna try to cast it on Tristan in the hopes that it will draw Desdemona's ire.
Okay. Let's see it.
Willpower, D8 and D10. That's a 10.
That'll do it.
Yes! So that is going to be 20 plus half of her level.
So that is 25 points of damage.
Okay.
This was onto Tristan, correct?
This is onto yes, Tristan.
Yeah. So 25 damage as Tristan is just getting lit up by magic and is going to try to backhand you. A magical
thought I
cancer.
was far away. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You get an advantage.
Yes. Let's go. I would like to oh dear. I would like to know a vulnerability on Desdemona.
Vulnerability, Desdemona is Dark and Bolt. Well, I think it brings us back to them. Tristan is going to go with a Ground Shaker. And we're going to go against Spike and Blair. This is just 2d10 because bosses are unfair. That's 11, 15. Definitely gonna hit
Okay.
Blair, but you could take it twice. Oh no, because you've already used your protection this round.
Yep. Now I hold on. Shoot. So I am. This is an Earth attack.
Yes.
Okay, now I have resistance to that, which is different from immunity.
It means you take half damage.
It means I take half damage. Okay.
So you would take 10, you take 5 instead, and Blair is taking
Okay.
the full 10.
Okay.
But it's back to you. As that hammer just again slams into the ground, causing spikes to shoot up into your companions. Spike, I think you're the only one left.
Yes. So let me just gotta actually update my HP here for a second. And oh, oops, it's the wrong spot. So I am going to how are my opponents looking here? Just trying to be a little tactical about this.
Tristan is in crisis. Not Blair. Desdemona's close.
Okay, so but Vercingetorix is not looking well, and how's Blair looking?
Not bad. Just took a little bit of damage.
Okay, so I'm going to assume she's probably going to be okay for the moment, and I'm going to go see if I can put a little hurt on Desdemona and get Vercingetorix a little help.
Sure.
So let's see here. Ooh, oh, that was almost a crit. But a 14.
Yeah.
All right. So that is 13. It's gonna be 15 damage.
Beautiful. Oof. Desdemona is definitely in crisis. And I think she's also the only one left to go.
I'm sure she wants a piece of me because I've just been ruining her day.
Didn't she? I mean, she did hit me.
Yeah, they are elite. They get to go twice. You just come slamming up with the shield. She's going to reel back with the spear, and initially it looks like she's headed straight towards you, and then turn off towards her old companion, Vercingetorix.
Oh no. Backstory. Strikes.
7, 8, 9, 13.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. I have a defense of 9.
With that's 19 points of damage.
That's gonna bring me to some negative numbers.
So we get to see what happens when someone hits 0. I believe you have 2 options. 86.
Player may give their life in order to accomplish seemingly impossible deeds, such as putting an end to a centuries-old. You may only sacrifice yourself. Okay, so you can sacrifice or surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least 2 of the following are true. A villain is present on the scene. Your sacrifice would benefit a character you have a bond towards. You believe your sacrifice will make the world a better place. Or I can surrender.
Yeah.
Where I fall unconscious.
And you get 2 Fabula points.
And a consequence.
Yeah.
What do we think? Wow.
Yeah, they're not playing around.
Da, da, da. Oh shoot! I should have looked to see if this was an action or if this is just something I can do like freely. Can if I dismiss my spirit, is that an action or is that something I can do freely?
It should mention in your class.
Yeah, it probably did, and I didn't write that particular detail. Actually, sorry.
We're in a pit, yeah?
Yeah, you're at the bottom of a giant hole.
God, I can't quite remember everything that's around here. But is there like some weird mechanisms or energy sources or something?
I mean, the building is kind of an engine, so yeah,
I also have a Thunderstone.
you have a thunderstone.
So we're in the engine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't quite work. I can't quite. I'm trying to find a way to sacrifice myself, but I don't know what to do in this situation because I don't really have anything that would work.
You are also welcome to just surrender.
We can take you back and you can still be a hero.
The dramatics.
If it be okay, I'm gonna take the Thunderstone in this building that is an engine, and I'd like to try and use it to activate the engine we're in to potentially remove myself and Desdemona. And maybe like create enough of a distraction by putting her in danger that she can pull away brother, so the rest of everyone can get out with the compass.
The moment that spear jabs down into Vercingetorix, just that moment of eyes locking between the two of you, and suddenly you just pull out that thunderstone and just smash it. The rest of you feel that of energy that hits you like a wave and just sends everyone tumbling back, including Tristan, who's just sliding away from this explosion, metal grinding on stone. That purple energy builds and builds, an immediate flux, and then shoots off again, this time just straight up into the sky. That beam cutting through the dust and the smoke, leaving all of you just momentarily dazed and blinded. And you'd hear Tristan, that big metal body, just letting off this mechanical whirling, this horrific screeching, and recognize that that's probably Sorrow. And just go sprinting back into the building, whereas everything's starting to clear. Vercingetorix and Desdemona just lie in a smoking heap.
So great.
That's what got me.
Blair just breaks down sobbing.
I think all of us are just like not comprehending what we're seeing for a minute. And then like kind of hearing Tristan, this like mechanical thing that we've been fighting this entire time, showing Sorrow. I think that's gonna be what finally like gets Alila to realize what actually just happens, and she just kind of like just collapses to her knees.
Sabine kind of drops their shields, their crossbow, and has probably never seen somebody die before. And so is going to approach and kind of kneel by Vercingetorix's body. And is probably trying to use entropic magic to do something. No real goal, no real, sort of pointed intention aside from trying to just make him breathe again.
Unless one of you is stopping him, Tristan would just grab Desdemona and kind of open up the armor and place her inside. And then turn and just start walking away. Sabine, would you like to roll for your magic?
So I think that seeing Tristan take Desdemona, I mean, Sabine's pretty young, and is pretty quickly cycling through all of the feelings. And so I think sort of a knee-jerk reaction would be to try to cast a spell at Tristan in a sort of, you don't get away after you've done this. And so Sabine is going to try to cast Omega at Tristan. to try and bring him down.
Absolutely.
My tummy hurts. That's a 6, but I'm going to use Ultima point to, or Fabula point, sorry, to try and cast again. It's a 9.
9 will hit the magic defense.
That's 20 plus half his level.
25 points of damage. He's going to use an Ultima point. And just take the blow and then slam his hammer onto the ground, causing it that immediate area to just shatter, start to quake, and then give in this centralized earthquake. And Tristan and Desdemona are just going to get swallowed up by the stone.
What?
Using an Ultima point to escape.
Sabine's grabbing on. Sabine's going to try to go with
just
him.
Dives after, leaving Blair, Elila, and Spike alone.
Except Spike has lost enough people for one day and is just going to also grab on and grab onto Sabine and kind of try and just no, please don't do this.
I think Sabine is probably trying to fight, but is pretty wimpy. Sabine relies a lot on their magic, so probably would not have a lot of strength to be able, but is hollering and sort of clawing at Spike's hand, trying to get out and follow.
Yeah.
What would you accomplish? Except dying yourself.
It doesn't matter. They took him away.
And you won't get him back.
I think I think that Sabine probably the fight just kind of goes out of them. And I think that they are, they're kind of just slumped, not really saying anything, not really moving.
I just posted
was
a
it?
song. That's what the stream is hearing at the moment.
So was it just Tristan and it took Desdemona's body and left, or was
Yeah.
it like? So, I don't know if I can use this way, but like rituals, I have spiritism, and it lets you sense the presence of creatures. And I know that's probably meant to like see if there's something around you and like understand like spatial awareness, but is there any way to just like use it on Vercingetorix and just see if there's even any way that, you know, like, I mean, Tristan was put back into a suit, so is there any way to it like, is Vercingetorix around still that we're able to do something?
Like, using that sense, while there doesn't seem to be anything coming from Vercingetorix, you immediately sense that compass, or that pocket watch. Which, I think at that moment, feeling that magic, you would recognize its power as being an object known as the Compass of the Beyond. A device capable of linking this world and the world of the souls. And as you make that connection, willingly or otherwise, it does start to spin and then just pulls this tear apart between this world and the spirit world.
Can I go towards it and reach in?
You could full on step in. It is an entire another world.
If I stepped into it as well, would that make me a spirit?
No.
Okay. I start to step into the tear and go searching for Zingenerus.
Feel a hand of Blair just kind of reach up, very gently grabbing yours. I see it too. I know what you're doing. You sure?
I can bring him back. We can get him and bring him back.
You're right. We can bring him back.
I can't ask you to do that.
As your...
I don't know what's beyond there. I can go and get him back, and you stay here and be safe. You have protectors here. I
As your
couldn't even protect anybody.
Royal Prime, command that you all stand with me, that we together can go through and recover our companion.
Prime.
Good. They'd reach down, pick up the pocket watch, hand it over to you. This is best in your hands? Good.
This time she the thing in her hands is a lot more precious than a L tube. So this time she's very happy to be holding it.
And one by one,
And well, she'll just say, like, she'll say very heartily thank you, and hold it in one hand, grab Blair's hands in the other, and probably expect Blair to continue a chain and start walking through.
Yep. One by one, you step through the tear into the world of souls. And that is where we are going to have to bring this game to a close. Y'all.
Let me die.
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry.
We were gonna go get you. It was fine.
That's not the rules.
Thank you all so much for being here. You've been a wonderful cast. Thank you everyone for being here and watching. You have your wonderful chats with all of the Ultima points that's let me do all those cool things. But real quick, I do want to once again give everyone a chance to tell you who they are, who they played, and if you're working on any projects people can check out where they can find them. We'll go backwards, reverse order this time, starting with Kian.
Hello everyone, my name is Kian. I have played Sabine Aconite this evening. It has been absolutely lovely. You can find me on Twitter at uptight_Chopin and eventually other social media spaces. On Wednesday the 14th, I will be playing Icon. So that will be, I'm super excited to get back to that because last time I found a little bebe that's going to be my little bebe and I'm really stoked. And then on the 15th, I will be hanging out on here playing Merkborg, and then on the 16th, I will be playing 10 Candle. And then on the 27th, I think I'm playing something. On the 28th, I have another round. 27th, something. I'm playing Icon again later this month. I'm so sorry. But yes, this has been absolutely lovely. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Heck yeah. Then over to Lonnie.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Lonnie, or Looney_Shaz, or I guess Hive, I don't think actually lets you do the underscore, so... Actually, just forget the underscore. Looney, Shaz, somewhere, there's a... Anyway. I am usually found either on here, or every once in a while I'm on High Shelf Collective. So right now, my direct schedule is on Thursday the 8th. Yes, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day the 8th is. I am playing Blades in the Dark over on High Shelf Collective as part of their winter charity drive for the Trevor Project. And then I am here next Monday, the 12th, for Monster Care Squad, which I'm very excited about.
Yes.
After that, I am the 18th. I am back on High Shelf Collective to be in a One Ring one shot. So I get to play Lord of the Rings for a little bit, and I've been wanting to play that game forever, so I'm very excited. And again, also Trevor Project. And then the 21st, I'm back here for Santa Slasher, which I am like so stoked for that. Like, I'm excited for all my games. I'm not gonna lie. I can never like say I'm more excited for one game than the other, but I'm excited for them. So find me, I don't know. And this was so fun tonight. So thank you all.
And over to Kai.
Hi, I'm Kai. No social media, but I will be back here on Wednesday for Mouse Ritter. Yeah, so stoked about that. Very happy. Thank you so much for having me. And I think Kian, are you in that with me?
Not.
You're not. Okay. I have not mastered who is on what, but this was great fun. I am sorry, Version Generous, that I failed you as party tank, but I'd like to think I saved the person who can possibly save you. So
Thank you for saving me all the times. I definitely would have also been dead by now.
Yeah, they don't mess around with the enemies. They just oof.
Especially spellcasters, just every time. Iron Gauntlet. That really kills me.
No
That was
range,
rough.
nothing. It's just if an enemy casts a spell, just bam.
Right to the gut.
Thank you. That brings us up to last but not least, Turk.
Yeah, hey everybody, I am Turk or Turk Accepted. I was Versin Generous. I got everyone to say it in full. Everyone's like, I'm just gonna call you by their nickname.
Vinny.
Got him. Only had to go and sacrifice myself. So there you go. If you want to see more of me and my face and the things that I do, you're in luck because tomorrow night I'll be over on Neon Lights Roleplay. Where I will be the running the game facilitator for Frozen Rain, which is of course Sleeping Above a Stolen Crown, adapted with some stuff featuring some familiar faces. Who can tell you more about one of them at least? That should be a good time. It's Lancer, and it's in a cold, icy planet with a lot of ancient history that's thawing slowly. Beyond that, I'll be back here on the 8th for some Delta Green, with a cast that I'm really excited for. We've been doing some work on some handouts, and everything looks really pretty. Then I'll be here for Lancer. I am Kismet. I am a god. Your prayers and adulations are always wholly encouraged. I'll be there for Monster Care Squad. On the 13th, I'll be there for Through the Breach. And on the 14th, I will be there for Icon. So real busy mid-December. And there'll be plenty more to come. So I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you all for tuning in. Keep supporting the people you see on your screen. They are incredible. Except for me. I'm just normal. But follow me if you like, because I sometimes interact with them. And remember to be a good person and do good things, because not only Santa's watching, I am.
The threats are a promise.
Yes.
The trees are always around. I don't know if that's a threat or a promise. That entirely depends on the trees. I am Andrew, Games Master for the evening and for most evenings. If you like what we do, you know to join us. We do casting calls each and every month. You can join our Discord. Link is down below. That big old button that says Discord. It's where we post all of said casting call schedules and where we just generally hang out. Giant nerd. I think that's it. Stick around for other games we got coming up this month and every month. But our friends over at Diesel Shot are currently live, so I'm going to throw right over to them. Before I do, as always, be good people, do good things, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.